everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am extra excited for this video. I will be sharing with you the coloring books that I've added to my collection over the last month and a half or 2 months, I'd say. I typically get anywhere from 3 to 7 books a month, I would say, on average, and I show those to you and do flip throughs in my completed pages videos each month. But over the past, like I said, month and a half or 2 months, I've had an extra stressful time with my job right now. So I treated myself to some extra books because it brings me a lot of joy, and there's not a lot of things in my personal life that I spend a bunch of money on. So in my designated set aside money, I treat myself to coloring books. It's my guilty pleasure, and I like to call myself a coloring book collector, not just a colorist, because I love supporting artists. And if you were to sit with me as I was picking out a page coloring, you would think I'm crazy because I pull all my coloring books out. Oftentimes I sit on the floor, I put them out in front of me, and I flip through in my office and pick out which page I'm going to do. And that's really part of the fun for me. So although in my lifetime I will never fill up every book that I have, it brings me so much joy. And I think that a lot of other colorists feel the same way. So I know it is a bit excessive, but I'm really excited to share them with you today. I think I have around 22 books. I have some mini books, so the first books I'm going to show you. And I am putting these in one category. But yeah, I have around 22 books. Quite the variety here. I'm going to do them in size, small to large, roughly, and I'm so excited to show you. So let me go ahead and jump in. I do want to also say you might hear the birds outside or the rain. It is absolutely torrential downpouring outside on and off today, so you might hear that. But without further ado, let me go ahead and jump into it. Here is an overview of the books. In case you want to skip ahead in the description to any specific book, I will put some timestamps down below. I can't wait to flip through each of these because I mostly wait until I'm filming these. I do a quick glance because I can't help myself. But otherwise, I wait to really look at each image in detail until I'm flipping through with you so you can get my genuine initial responses. So I'm real excited about this video, and I've got a lot of opinions. Some of them I'm disappointed in, so I can't wait to share them all with you. Okay, first up is Tiny Expressions. These are little, tiny, simple, bold, and easy books. I got these off of Etsy in a pack of 5, and there is Food Tour, Monster Club, Travel Bug, Ocean Odyssey, and Garden Therapy. And I forgot to include these in my April completed pages because some of these I have done a couple in, like this here and this fish. And I've done some with my niece as well. And these are just really, like I said, simple, bold, and easy images with themes. This one, we forgot to put a bleed sheet, and it did bleed a little bit. We used Ohuhu markers in these, my niece and I. And she adored them and did really, really well. Let's see if I can show you one of hers. This was one she did. She's only 4. And she also did a mermaid in here. She likes to do pretty much everything rainbow. But she did one in each and then some too. But my favorite that she did, I don't have with me. It's in my cubicle, and maybe I can insert a photo. But she did one in here. It was my favorite. It was a little sunshine with blushy cheeks. And they're just great to whip out if you want to do them with a kid and put them somewhere. Or if you want to do them, I think a lot of people, from what I've read online, like to keep them on their desk and whip them out for a quick stress relief. And I just think that they're really cool and different than any of my other coloring books, obviously. And I mentioned in my April video for completed pages that I was in a bit of a coloring slump. And this was really nice for me to just whip out, kind of have like a warm up and no pressure, really simple images, very little color choosing because the image is so small, just really nice. So I got these off of Etsy. I'll link them below. Next up, this is a Pictura book, which folds out into one big image. And this is Aleksei's Bitskoff's Monster Party. I really have a hard time with that word, and now I've had to say it twice in the first couple minutes of this video. But I saw a couple of different people post about this, and I thought it was such a neat idea, and I just had to get my hands on it. And I would have filmed this video for you a long time ago if I had gotten this, but the way that I ordered it, it took forever to get here. But as you can see, it whips out into one big photo here, and I just love the artwork in it and the sketchiness. And I love that as you do it, it's not so intricate that it's overwhelming, but it's intricate enough that as you do it, I know I'm going to discover new things that I didn't notice at first. So I just think it's really, really neat. And then if you don't have alcohol markers or another medium that bleeds, then on the back here, there are some other activities to draw them. And I don't know what all there is. This guy, you can add little details to him. And this one, you can add his environment. So it's got some cool little details to it as well. And they have a lot of different ones like this. But this one was the one I saw posted about. I think it was Coloring with Kay that I saw post about it. And I just thought it was a really neat idea. So I'm really excited about that one. Next up, these are Tiny Tales Volume 1 and 2 by R.J. Hampson. You've probably heard me mention, if you've watched me for any amount of time, that R.J. Hampson, or Russell, is my favorite coloring book artist. I love everything that he does, and I was super excited about these books and knew I wanted to get them as soon as they came out because they're unlike anything he has released before. Basically, on all of his normal size books, there are little images with the titles of the pages. And so this is a collection of, from all his other books, his little images that he has on those sides. Because if you use alcohol markers, you can't obviously color those in. It would destroy the back with the actual image on it, if that makes sense. I'm not describing that well, but this is a way that you can color those in and not ruin the page. And so this is volume 1, and it is birds, bugs, bees, blooms, animals, and snail. I think it's really cool the way he separated these. He also has a YouTube channel, and he shows the behind the scenes and the sketches of his books. And I just think his thought process, the way with his color with me's, the way that he colors his images are like perfection to me. And I just really love his style. So, and they're my husband's favorite that I do. So anyway, this is volume 1. It's in sections. So this is birds. I was just telling my sister that I love that his artwork is a bit of an in-between. This is blooms. It's a bit of an in-between. It's not quite bold and easy, but it's also not your most intricate books out there. It's somewhere in the middle, and that's where I like to be. And so that's why I like his art so much. It makes me feel, this is animals, makes me feel really productive, and I think it's really satisfying when I finish a page. But at the same time, because it takes me a little longer than like a bold and easy book, but at the same time, I don't get discouraged and hit a wall like I do with some of the more intricate pages. Let me see if I can do this a little quicker for you. Whoops, maybe not. There's such a variety in here. Bugs. I think he did this one in April, or maybe it was May, but he posted about this little bug. And he kind of kept to a theme, bees, with what he put on each page. Snail. I didn't notice that one before. Let me know if you want a more in-depth, this one is the whole page, whoops. Let me know if you want a more in-depth flip through of any of these books. But when I click on a page, when I click on a video and watch a flip through, I really just want to see a general idea of what it looks like if it's something I want to order. This one is Houses, Dragons, Oceans, Knickknacks, and Christmas. Houses. I think it's nice to just have an overview to get a rough idea. Dragons. But I could sit here and say so much about R.J. Hampson's art, and just what a fan I am. Oceans. I also love that on his YouTube channel, he connects with his audience or fans, I guess you might say, in the knickknacks, in the comments. So I've left a couple of comments over on his channel, and he's responded to every single one of them. This one's interesting. Oh, it's because it's knickknacks. I guess all of these are quite random now. Might be my favorite section. But I love this idea because it kind of reminds me, Christmas, kind of reminds me of Joanna Basford's, is it Tiny Victories? But it's got lots of little images. And actually one of my other books is similar to this concept. And I just love that. Again, just like the tiny little books, I love just having a tiny little image to do before bed, or if I'm in a slump, just do a quick little turtle, help me kind of get out of it. So I'm really into that kind of concept right now, but this was the volume 2 of these. Again, we have a travel size book. This is by Alexandra Franzese. I know I'm probably, the names in this, I'm going to give it my best shot, but as you know, I'm pretty bad with pronouncing the names. This is a Kawaii coloring book. I don't typically like Kawaii books, but this one really stood out to me when I saw someone post about it because I thought that the grayscaling was really interesting and it's got such a good variety and I just loved so many of the images. It's got veggies, a little, it looks like a refrigerator. This is like fast food, dogs. I'm actually going to do this one for my mom for Mother's Day. It already passed, but that's still on my plans. And hopefully she doesn't watch this before then because she's a veterinarian and is obsessed with dogs. This is one of my favorites with this little, what is it, a heron, the turtles, the frog, and the fish, and the crocodile or alligator, and the bunny. I just think this one's so stunning. And then cats, of course. This birthday cake one. Just got quite the collection, and it's different than any other style book that I have. And again, loving travel size books. There's something about it that I just have been really into recently. It's even got Christmas. I think it's got a Halloween page somewhere in here. Maybe I already passed the Halloween page. And then a bonus page. So yeah, that is a Kawaii coloring book. And she also has this in a full size if you like bigger books. And then I have Nail Art Fashion Vibes, Color by Number by Satch and Satch Diva. And this one, again, the smaller books I've been into. And I have always done my own nails since I was 9. I love doing them, and it's another hobby that I really enjoy. And I've been more into just doing solids as of recently. But I used to do nail art when I was younger. And I just had never seen a coloring book about that. And I've seen a lot about Satch and Satch Diva. And I wanted to try one of his books. And this is Color by Number, which I've also been really into recently. And so I just thought it checked all my boxes. And I can try one of his books. I can have another Color by Number to add to my collection. I can have something that has nail art. So yeah, really excited about this book. And he, of course, has so many. Now that I've been on Instagram and seen and connected more with you all and seen more of other people's pages, I'm really recognizing the more popular names, and I see his come up a lot. So that is Nail Art Fashion Vibes. Then we have Sea of Colors by Angela Gonzalez. And again, this is one I've seen all over the place recently. I've mostly seen J.I. Colorist show it, and I really love the art. I will be honest that I was a little torn with how I felt about the eye size, just because when a page is done, the eyes on most people's pages are quite white, and so it stands out and kind of looks a little incomplete at times. And I've seen some people do some different shading and different things, but I just could not decide how I felt. But I think that she works it, and it's kind of, you know, her style and her thing. So I got it. My husband and I have been planning a cruise actually in September, and so I've been really into everything oceans and researching about that and being really excited. We booked a snorkeling excursion, and so you'll see I also have R.J. Hampson's Oceans books in this haul because I've just been really wanting to lean into that. And I thought if I can sneak in with in my suitcase a couple of pages or books, that I would love to have some that are specifically ocean themed. So super duper excited about that. This book has a lot of images, I'm realizing. And obviously it's also unique because it is sideways. This is another book that I think's just the right amount of intricate. Oh, that's cute. Seed Imagination. Oh, it's got little like decorating color. What a neat idea. Little extra pages. Help the octopus find the tentacle that's holding the pearl. Protect the environment. These are in danger of extinction. Wow, that's a really cute addition to the end of that. Okay, so that is Sea of Colors. I am really excited about this one. It's Lila's Coloring Cute Spots, Cozy Fantasy Coloring Book. And I will say, let me know if you recognize any of these as AI. That's something that I have really started to look into over the last couple months and realized what a problem it is. And I want to support small artists and people that hand-drawn stuff. I don't want to support AI. Let me say before I go on a tangent about that this book is, you get the idea, but it's kind of like Adorable Towns, but it's on an even smaller level, I feel like. And I just loved the way that they are in this book. But it can be really tricky to figure out what is AI and what is not sometimes. So that's a little journey I'm trying to take myself to figure out, because like I said, I want to support hand-drawn art. I don't want to buy AI colored books or coloring books, but I do think I have one in this mix, and I will be sure to tell you. But I think whenever I go to buy a book now, I look them up on Instagram, and I think that I looked this one up and it seemed legit, but I bought several obviously, so I can't remember specifically because now it's been, most of these were Amazon and I bought them, a month or two ago. And so I can't remember. I was really just waiting on that Pictura book to come because I've had these for weeks and it's been really hard to not color in them. And I've been dying to show them all to you. But yeah, I thought this was really cute and it did the whole little cozy spaces really well. That's Cute Spots by Lila's Coloring. Then we have Stress Relief, Color by Line. I've never had a Color by Line book before. And this one is by, it's Viva, is it on the front here and I'm missing it? Yeah, Vivi Tinta, which I think is a collection of artists like Kawaii, if I'm not mistaken. But I follow them on Instagram. But I do not have a book that has color. All of them are like black and white. And I just thought this was a really neat idea. I've been looking to purchase one for a while. And this is actually the one I've wanted. But they did just come out with a newer one. I'll try to also link if you prefer those images, because I really struggled to decide between the two. But because this was the one that I saw first and have been eyeing for a long time, I decided to go with it. Yeah, I saw most people do a lighter shade than the line so that the outline pops a little bit more. So I'll probably do that. And then in the back here, it will have demonstrations of what they look like once they're done. So I searched some flip throughs and looked at this compared to their new book that's like called Little Moments, I think. And I went back and forth for a while, but I decided to go with my original, especially because I just loved the cover of this. But that's Stress Relief, Color by Line by Vivi Tinta. Then we have Happy Moments, Fuzzy Buddies Coloring Book by Bogiki. This, again, I was skeptical of AI, especially with these bold and easy books, because it's just, a lot of them are like copy and paste of each other. But I looked this one up and it seemed legit as well on Instagram. But I definitely have a harder time with these bold and easy books knowing. This one is little animal families doing their things. Kind of like my Crittersville book, but it's in a bold and easy version. This was hilarious. My sister was laughing at this when she was looking at these. It's a gender reveal and these little pigs are crying and the girl is happy. I've seen people do this one with that cool like TV effect. The shading. I just love drawing or coloring little critters that are doing real life things, especially little families, because I'm really close with my family and always have been, and so I just loved that. And this is so cute. I just this past Saturday celebrated my nephew's 2nd birthday, and if I had time I wanted to do that one, but I ran out of time. This is my favorite. It's the cover. It's in an aquarium. My best friend works at an aquarium as one of the lead keepers there, and she actually is the lead otter keeper, but her degree's in marine biology. Anyway, I think of her every time I see anything aquarium, so that extra drew me to this. It's Happy Moments. Then we have Nature by Art Therapy. Now this is in, I think, French, but you can see here the name, and this is, again, a book that that's been on my wish list for a while. And I think I paid $30 for it, $30 US, which is the most that I think I've paid for a coloring book. So I think I was holding off for a while, but the artwork in it is just stunning. And I mean, look at that. Oh my goodness. These are the cutest cows I've ever seen. And this little house, so whimsical looking. I love that the line work, wow, I've really not sat down and taken in this book, but these are absolutely stunning. I love a page where there's like miscellaneous. You could do one gecko at a time or whatnot. This is one of the books I'm most excited about. I mean, look at that. I love the style, the way that it's coming through the water. Oh my goodness. But anyway, look, I gotta do this for my friend. Otters. And they kind of look like river otters, which is what she does, not sea otters. But yeah, I really loved this one. Oh, this one I remember seeing. This might be my favorite page in this whole thing from what I've seen so far. I love a page that has multiple areas. And I don't know, I can't describe what I'm trying to say, but I just love that you've got down here under the water and then you've got up here. I don't know, there's something about this one and the wildlife in it that I just think is so cute. And look at that little guy's face. I don't even remember what I was saying in the first place about this. Oh, I was just saying that I keep interrupting myself, but I mean, I just have really been into ocean stuff recently. But anyway, let me try to get this stinking thought out. I need to focus. Oh my gosh. These images are just blowing me away. They're almost like the wow factor that I get from looking at nature, but it's just to think that someone did this and drew this. I just love it. Anyway, the lines in this are not as dark as like a bold and easy book. They're like, it's more sketchy and I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like it's drawn with crayon. Like there's texture in the strokes, if that makes sense. And I think that just really adds to it. Okay. Well, I'm extra excited about that book, even more so than I thought I would be. But that is Nature. One more thing about this. It's also on thicker paper, obviously. It's not just on the typical US paper, so I'm willing to pay more for a nicer quality book, and this is definitely that. It's thick, sturdy, and it's obviously got a ton of images, so that's why it was a little more, and I'm definitely willing to pay it. I just wanted to make that clear. It does look like it has a big scratch on it, on that giraffe's neck. Maybe not, but anyway, there that one is. Okay, and then, like I said, I got Oceans by R.J. Hampson. I think the ocean just is amazing to me. It just really wows me. This was one of my favorites. I just love this. And I think I've seen people do this and one other page with a black background with really vibrant colors that make it pop. The ocean just has a wow factor. The fact that so much of it is, what's the word I'm looking for? Not researched and unknown. And it's just so massive, and all the creatures in it and everything. It's just amazing to me. It's scary, but look at that. That's so cool that he made this black too. I did not see this one before. This is really cool. Eating the creatures that are smaller than it. And then he always has a second set of pages that have minor differences. And recently I've noticed he'll go back and edit some of his books sometimes and release new images or updated images in his books. And then the old version is then a collectible. So he's been doing that, I've noticed. So I don't know if this one is a second version or... I'm snorkeling with the sea turtles when we go on our cruise. Actually, in St. Thomas is where I'll be snorkeling. But that is Oceans by R.J. Hampson. Next, again, unlike anything else that I have, this is a how-to book. So this is Coco Wyo's Draw Patterns, which I'm sure you've probably seen floating around. So I'll try to be quick. But in case you haven't seen it, it's got steps here on the patterns and then the colors it uses. And it shows you how to do different patterns. And then it gives you, instead of just a square, it gives you specific images or what's the term I'm looking for? Objects that you can practice on to make it a little cuter, and then a spot here to put what colors you used. So it has a variety of different things. So this is about surface textures. And again, there was something really cool to me about getting a book that, this water effects, that, and playful pattern, that was colored, because all my coloring books are obviously black and white. And so it was cool to get a book that had printed color, if that makes sense. I don't know. I just wasn't expecting to be excited about that. Hair and fur, window and sky. This is beautiful. Nature texture. Library and practice. So this has, a bunch of random objects and then the different patterns mix matched onto them. And then you can practice. This book has so much. I didn't see that before. That's nice. And then I think this is almost like a catalog of different patterns. And feel free to pause if you want to look at any a little bit more in depth. And then here is coloring pages to practice, and it shows you. That is How to Draw Patterns by Coco Wyo. And this was a newer release that's come out recently. Then we have Tiny Magical Illustrations. It's the practice coloring book by Rita Prince. Now this is the other book I was talking about that is kind of like Tiny Tales by R.J. Hampson, except it's a little bit more whimsical. And so I didn't have any Rita Prince books, and I actually have two in this haul, and I did not know they were both by her until I got them. But because they've both been in my wish list for a while. But again, it has quite a variety. And I just love a sketchy look. I love coloring in something that looks like it came straight out of someone's sketchbook. Aren't these stunning? There's one page in particular. I might have passed it, not realized. No, it was this one. I love this kitchen one. I don't know why. I guess because I cook and, you know, my dishes can get full at night after I cook. And this just, I don't know. I love looking at other people's home. And this reminds me of my home, my bookshelf and my kitchen, and then my cozy couch with way too many pillows. And I don't know. It just, I loved that page. Okay. And I thought the front cover of this was really unique too. So this is a really cool one. It's by Rita Prince. Also by Rita Prince is Storefronts and Houses. So Adorable Towns I have is Storefronts, and what else? There's an actual storefront book by Urban Anna that I have. That's from real storefronts around the world. Love that book. But there's something about a storefront that just makes me so happy, and I really like Rita Prince style. Again, the line work is a little bit lighter, so it's not, and it's sketchier, so very different than Bold and Easy, but still these are quite thick. And I know that there's mixed opinions on a black back to a sheet of paper, but I like it. I think that when you finish a page, like when I finish this page, then when I do this one, or if I turn the page, what am I trying to say? You get what I'm saying. If this has marker on it, it doesn't take away from this as much as if this was just white and you're just looking at a bunch of colors, which to people that color in double-sided books, they're probably used to that. But for me, I only do single-sided because I use alcohol markers so much. And I find that that really helps conceal the lines. Ooh, that one is beautiful. So I actually prefer it to just white. Okay. That's 35 different pages, and it's Storefronts and Houses. Then we have a Sin Ung page. It's our coloring book, and it's color by number, stained glass wildlife. Now, someone recommended Sin Ung to me, and I'm so glad that you did, because I had such a hard time picking which one I wanted. I now am looking at other people's stained glass pictures, and they're just beautiful. And I'm really excited. And I've also, like I said, been more into color by number because you don't have to try to pick the colors, of course. So it helps extra relax me. Because sometimes I can get so focused on the colors and if they all go together and what colors am I going to do this and that and will they clash. And it's just really nice to turn it all off sometimes and just color. And I took a screenshot, but I looked in the reviews of this book, and somebody, like, let's say I did this page with alcohol markers, around the inside of each one, they went over it again to make it a little darker, and it made it look more stained glass-like rather than just doing one coat on everything. So I think I'm going to do that whenever I do this book. This book is chock full. I don't think there's been repeats. I love wildlife. As you guys know, I used to work with alligators, and I used to work at a museum as an animal caretaker and ambassador. Here are some examples of when they're done. And so I just love wildlife. That's how my friend and I met. She works in an aquarium now with husbandry, but we worked together at the museum and took care of animals, and I was also a vet assistant. So I just love animals, and that's why I chose this one. But she has a bunch that I want now, so my wish list grew after looking at her books. The next book I am really excited about as well. It's Color to Calm. I will say I was a little disappointed. This is not the person that made the book. It's not their fault. But when I got it, it was all bent up here, and it's got like scratches, and I don't know if you can see here the scratches or glue, I guess, on the front cover. And I think because it's matte, it's just gotten really scratched up. I think it's because it says it was printed back in February, and like most of these were printed right when I ordered them. So it's, I don't know, it's maybe gotten thrown around. Maybe it was used and someone was disappointed. Maybe that's what it was. But, and they sent it back or returned it. But nonetheless, I'll still color in it. But I saw Color to Calm on YouTube pop up, and I watched her video of her coloring in a page that was dogs. And it was, I think, only realistic dogs. Again, I got the wildlife one. But she did a golden retriever. Now, I don't think these are hand-drawn. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But I think these are like images that she took and just made into coloring pages. I like maybe put a filter on them. I'm not sure. But I don't think they're hand-drawn. But... and the images are a little bit fuzzy, I will say, which is a little disappointing. But I think once you color it in, it's not really noticeable. But it is a little bit fuzzy, and there are a lot of repeats. There's a lot of zebras. And my mom kind of joked and said, well, that page is done because they're black and white. But still, the thing is, if you want to see what I mean, she colored a golden retriever on her channel, and it was absolutely stunning. It looked like a picture of a golden retriever, and she didn't do like a ton of extra stuff because the image was already had shading and everything because it was grayscale. And so I really am excited to try that out because I've never done anything like that. So I was initially, it wasn't what I was expecting, but I think it will still be a cool effect once I color it in. It's hard to explain, but if you go to her channel, you'll see what I mean. Basically, if I was just to color over this with yellow or tan or whatever, it would look like a picture of a lion with minimal effort. And she did that with alcohol markers. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's by Color to Calm. And she has a bunch of like only realistic one. I think her most popular one is Fairy Doors. And she has a bunch of color with me's about that if you're interested. The next one is Pocket World by Kawaii. This one, my niece, I tore out a sheet in it for my niece. It has a cat Polly Pocket. This is kind of like Polly Pocket. And it reminds me, of course, of my childhood. And kind of similar to the, what's the other one called? The book I just showed earlier that has the little stores that are themed, that kind of like Adorable Towns. I already don't remember what it was called. But this is similar. It has lots of little things and little spaces. And I just love books like that. Again, this has been on my wish list for months and months. But yeah, she had a cat page. I'll insert a picture of it. Okay, it's by Kawaii. And then just a few more here. We've got Gabby Wolf's Minimania Volume 1. A lot of you, based on the books that I enjoy, recommended this to me, and I don't know why I didn't get it sooner. I actually got one of Gabby Wolf's other books and chose it over this, but now that I have this, I prefer this book. I love it. Again, I don't know why I love when there's like an underwater view. There's like a variety of like different parts of an image. I feel like I'm not making any sense tonight, but love this. Similar to Pocket World. She has a very unique style, and I've loved following her on Instagram. So this kind of has a bit of the Polly Pockets, the storefronts, the underwater thing that I apparently enjoy. I love this. Got quite the variety. And then there's a second set of pages that I think is all just light gray line work with black backgrounds. And then a color test page, or a few color test pages. And then there's Gabby Wolf. And she has all kinds of ones, but I think she's most known. I have Daydreams, which is a square book, but I think she's most known for her Minimania series. And there's a bunch if you aren't familiar, but I'm sure you are. That's Minimania. This was one I was super excited about. Again, I think I saw Coloring with Kay, who I have been loving watching her videos. She posted about this one, and I immediately knew that I needed it. I think it's a UK magazine publishing brand, if I'm not mistaken. And they just printed it in here with Amazon printing. And so I guess so it could be available worldwide. And it's got different shelves with tiny little themes that are for each month. So this is January. And then I guess for each week, there is little images, which again, I sound like a broken record with the things that I like, but I like having lots of little images like this. So this is February. The lines are very thin. March. So it's going to take me a while if I use alcohol markers. Now these would be great practice for me with colored pencils since I'm just learning about those. April. But if I do markers, which I probably would on the shelf parts, I'm going to have to really take my time. This is May. June. And July. Oh, July is an ocean theme. August. Oh, I just noticed too that this shelf is a little different than the other ones. It's not just, I don't know. September. I thought this was interesting. I think, if I'm not getting this mixed up with another book, October, this one's very fall-like and what I would imagine November looking like. Whereas November is more like Halloween, magic spells and magic and witchy things. And yeah, Halloween tales. And is Halloween on the same... this might be a really ignorant question. Is it on October 31st for everywhere? I thought it was, but now seeing that, I was like, wait, why is this November? December? Christmas. I guess because it's like the very end of October, maybe. Color combination chart. And then they have a bunch. I really like this Wind in the Willows one. There's a couple of different ones that I want to look into, but this was a no-brainer to me. I just loved this, and I love a seasonal book. Okay, I think this is 100% AI. I got this because cakes, to me, you've probably seen a couple other books that I light up when I see the cakes. They're very nostalgic for me for some reason. I guess there was an episode of like Max and Ruby when I was a little kid that he made like a mud cake. And for some reason, cakes are just, they really make me feel nostalgic. I'm not sure why. But this book, one, there's basically repeats. Like they're very similar. But I'll show you how and why I think it's AI. Well, you can first of all tell that this just... I mean, it doesn't have who did this or anything. It's kind of obvious now, but it was one of the first ones I bought when I was just looking for a cake book, and I liked the art in it. I just wanted something fun. I could like throw some glitter on and some gloss, and I saw J.I. Colorist do a cake for her birthday. I think it was last month, and she really had fun with it, and it just made me want to have some cake pages that were just cake, and so... that's what I did, and now I think it's AI. I'll show you a couple other pages that really made me think. It's the lines that threw me off. Now, all of these aren't as bad as I thought, but there is one page that I opened up to first that I was like, what is that? This, first of all, it looks like they just stuck this on here and just cut off the bottom of it. This one was one of the first ones I opened up to. The background is, you can see through this icing and this chocolate here. And then these were the first 2 pages I saw, and I was like, this is AI. What's going on here? I think what they did is, this is an ice cream cone that they chopped off. Maybe it's someone that put these images together, now that I think of it, but because this looks like an ice cream cone that someone just cut off and put the whipped cream on top or whatever. But either way, this is not hand-drawn. Look at this. That's not even like in a logical spot. The way this is cut off actually infuriates me looking at it, just knowing how much time and effort people put into their hand-drawn work. But I do think I'm just gonna keep it because I think it was like $4 or $5, and part of the reason I got it is I thought my niece would love it, and when I'm with her and you know, I get really excited about some of my other books, and I think this will be a really great one to hand over to her and color with her in, because it is more for kids. But and there's still some pages that, like, there was one up here that was a birthday cake with candles. Like this one, I think I could have fun with, make these stars glittery. But I also just like, my sister has an art degree and does art, and she started working on a coloring book, and I feel defensive of, you know, people put a lot of time and effort. So I'll hang on to it for my niece, and I'll do a page or 2, but I don't recommend it, is what I'm saying. And then the last book, and then I have one other small thing in this haul. I got some acrylic markers I was going to show you. This is Cozy Cottagecore by Melanie Bess, and I follow her on Instagram, and I thought that her books were unlike anything I had as well. Very whimsical. The Sweet and Simple Things coloring book. And I just love, you can see here, she's got a family. I love when you can put a face behind a book that you're coloring. Now, there's some pages in here I gravitate towards more than others, but I still really love it and think it's, I really, when I think of whimsical, I think of this. Look at this. I do embroidery. I've never seen an embroidery coloring page. I did not notice this before. I love embroidery. I don't think I've ever really shown it on my channel, but I've done a lot of embroidery, and this, I'm definitely going to do that page. This is stunning. I thought this was really, really beautiful. Her hair. I don't really love drawing people, but something about when their faces are not in it. I like this more. This is real cute with the chickens. I'm loving ducks right now. She has a few different ones that I like. Again, love the hair and just the way the dress is. Love this. Oh, I love this. Wildflowers are kind of, I didn't mean for them to kind of become my thing or something I love, but at my wedding, really short story time here. At my wedding, where I wanted wildflowers all in the wedding, and then where we had our wedding, it just so happened that time of year that there were these massive wildflowers that were taller than me all along the tent of where our reception was. So it was the perfect Photoshop for people to take photos in front of. And it's what my banner is on my YouTube channel. And it's why I put wildflowers at the end of my videos, because I think they're beautiful. One, I love that they are effortless, and that I love the mixture of them. I love also, I've shared that I am a Christian, and I love the scripture that says, consider the wildflowers, because it talks about, you know, I can struggle with getting anxious, and it talks about they don't toil or spin, and that they just are, and, you know, they know how to be still. And I just love wildflowers for so many reasons. So yes, I Love this. Fancy some sun tea. I just saw someone in a video, Morgan Long, I saw post about sun tea in one of her videos. Flower tea. I never knew that was a thing. But yeah, did that just say February 10th? Oh no, March. I was gonna say, I thought it said February 10th, which is my birthday. But yeah, I love her artwork, and she has a couple of different books. And then these are the acrylic markers that I got. Acrylic dual side markers by Artistro. And here are the color selections. I've been waiting to use these as well until I showed you. But since I've been getting some different inspiration off of Instagram, I've been seeing a lot of people use the acrylic markers. I was trying to find a fun color, but I'm also trying to keep my address out of the shot here. These were highly rated on Amazon. One's a brush tip and one is a fine tip. And I've just seen a lot of people using acrylic markers over their alcohol markers on pages. So I wanted some to try it out. So I got a small collection here, and I'm really excited to put these to the test on some pages. But that is it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I can't wait to share with you once I start coloring in them my completed pages. And let me know if you have any of these books and if it inspired you to pick them back up, or if you're interested in adding them to your wish list or purchasing them. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Also, let me know about the AI discussion. Do you have any tips and tricks on what you look out for and methods to make sure you avoid AI generated books? I always love reading your comments, and you guys have taught me so much. So thank you to everybody that takes the time to leave comments, because they really do bring me so much joy and make me smile. So I really look forward to hearing from you and connecting with you. Also, just want to add the end of this, because I've never said this before, but I am now on Instagram, and I've had some people reach out about buddy coloring. If you are interested in buddy coloring with me, feel free to DM me, because I'm really excited about that and connecting with more of you. And I have a few lined up for this month, so I can't wait to share that as well. Lots of exciting things happening, but I can't wait to see you in my next video. And until then, happy coloring. Bye.